And next, let's turn to the AI race between the U.S. and China. What will it take for the U.S. to win, and what's at stake even? Joining us to discuss is Rick de la Torre, CEO and founder of Tower Strategy LLC and a retired CIA senior operations officer. Thanks for joining us this morning, Rick. A Senate committee held a hearing yesterday titled Countering China's Challenge to American Leadership. What was the outcome of that hearing?
Well, I think for the first time now, we officially have on the record Congress indicating that the competition with China has been, and currently in its current state, is unfair. What we have China stealing intellectual property, abusing and stealing personal information and private data, and then weaponizing all that stuff with its military. So this isn't about business competition between the United States and China. This is actually China looking for AI dominance, both in a military and strategic, position. So what came out of the Senate hearings was really a spotlight and focus that if the U.S. is serious about winning this, then we're going to have to make some significant investments and pay some significant time and energy to actually confront and beat China. The United States currently leads when it comes to chip technology and when it comes to the software and developing these things out. China does lead, however, sadly, when it comes to energy. We just don't have enough energy in this country to generate the amount of wattage that's required to meet AI demands. This isn't something that we can wait and sit around and hope that we somehow fix and get on the right side within the next few years. We really only have possibly 1 year or at best a few months to get into that position that we need to be in.
Yeah, Rick, you bring up a lot of interesting angles and points to this complex issue. You talk about going on offense, getting the energy going, but also you talk about defense, about preventing what you've described as sort of this IP theft fusion, because that IP theft it's not for business, it's not for the private sector, there's a fusion of their military with their private sector. So the Chinese regime, as we frequently cover on NTD, is engaged in this unconventional warfare, as you described it and as I attempted to describe it. They invest in soft power in places such as grassroots organizations in the U.S. They even do lobbying quite aggressively. So do you see that coming into play specifically as it relates to AI, or is it in other sectors of military and other things?
Yeah, absolutely right. The Chinese soft power that is executed against the United States and in every sector, from university campuses to NGOs and grassroots movements, and even lobbying here in D.C. I'm proud to say, as a lobbyist, I accept no money from the PRC. What you see is they muddle the waters and try to refocus the attention to their benefit. So, for example, the push and argument for overregulation of AI technologies and expansion of AI, or the overstressing of environmental concerns regarding AI. A lot of those efforts are straight out of the Chinese playbook to slow us down, to keep us from catching up and making the advancements we certainly need to make. At the university campus level, a lot of that technology, as we know, and the DOJ consistently spotlights their arrests that we've seen a significant increase of those who collaborate with the PRC in stealing technologies from the university centers and advanced laboratories. And then you have an all-out offensive on the cyber front when it comes to hacking and breaking into databases, into corporate and government databases, and stealing that information that then, as you said, goes back into Chinese servers, and then is weaponized to benefit the PRC.
You brought up a really interesting point around the lobbying, specifically that they're lobbying for green energies here in the U.S. as they fire up dozens of these coal-fired power plants. You said that we are behind them as it relates to the energy required to lead in AI, and you said that it's not a 5-year thing, it's a 1-year thing. So what are the stakes? How does AI help them achieve both their Cold War objectives as well as their kinetic war objectives?
You're absolutely right. If you look at where we're at now, China currently, just to put this into perspective, China produces more solar energy than the United States produces nuclear energy, right? Within the next 5 years, China is slated to produce more solar energy than the entire energy that the United States produces. That's everything we do: nuclear, solar, diesel, gas, whatever it is. So we're not even in the same realm. You're right. They're firing up coal plants left and right, but they're really making their investments in the future in solar technologies, which they control. They control 90% of that market in the United States. That's something that we need to focus on here. We need to look at these, the component levels, the polysiliconates, the modules, all the things that go into solar energy manufacturing, and bring that back to the United States and control it like it would be some sort of very critical industry, because it is. That from a technical standpoint, providing large amounts of energy to these data centers, to the folks involved in AI, crypto data centers that are going to require the energy to take us to that next level, we need to focus on that. Right now, sadly, our grid is too reliant on Chinese subcomponents, where I have personally no real faith in. And also, we're just not growing and making those investments to keep up.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the advancements of AI, it seems as though both Cold War applications like deep fakes, misinformation, power grids, which you mentioned, all controlled through computer technology. So AI certainly could affect that. But then also, as we see with the Russia-Ukraine war, as well as with Israel, that these kinetic military tools are really now being controlled by AI, and it's not as much humans on the battlefield, it's drones and other technology. So a lot here at stake. Really appreciate all your analysis. Energy seems like one of the key ingredients for leadership. Rick de la Torre, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.